Hi, we are the Fowler family, and if you're new to this channel, let me just introduce us really quick and catch you up on everything, and then I'll give you an update. I'm Meg Nordman, and I'm the author of Have Yourself a Minimalist Christmas, and I'm working on a new book on the FIRE movement. I'm also an artist, oboist, and an all-around creative with a background in digital marketing who genuinely enjoys making content for my blog, podcast, social media, and YouTube accounts. My husband, Jeremy, was formerly an auto mechanic and now a woodworker who enjoys spending his time making furniture and building things. He's an avid surfer and a musician and a creative as well. Etta is a 5-year-old who is passionate about exploring nature and curious about insects, reptiles, amphibians, and pretty much every living creature she can examine and learn about, and she's also a budding artist. Farah is a 3-year-old whose main passion at the moment is learning how to cook food. She pays close attention to everything we do and is eager to try it out herself. We currently live in St. Augustine Beach, Florida, and spend many of our days exploring tide pools and just jumping in the water. We are about 3 months away from moving to Costa Rica to live permanently in the jungle. We consider ourselves early retirees and a part of the FIRE movement. That stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. In short, we got out of debt, saved our money, invested it in real estate and index funds, and now generate enough passive income to fund our lifestyle. To be fair, our lifestyle does not require much. We also identify as minimalists and therefore have worked past the urge to consume and acquire a lot of things. We value experiences over stuff. We are extremely frugal and try to make as much as we can rather than purchase things ready-made, whether that be food, detergents, clothes, or any other kind of stuff. We just like to make it. Why Costa Rica? Well, there are a few reasons. Mainly, the dollar will go a lot further down there. We don't need much to live a happy life, and we can live an even easier one if our small stream of passive income is funding a more affordable life in Central America. Another biggie is healthcare. Once we gain residency in Costa Rica, we will have access to affordable healthcare, which is something that is honestly a bit of a scary trap in the States. We are thinking long term, and eventually our bodies will age and require maintenance. So we want to live in a country that will actually take care of us when we get older. Thirdly, there's great surf. Happiness and fitness are a key part in living a long, healthy life, and surfing is my husband's biggest joy. So we want to be somewhere where he can hop onto some fun waves pretty much every single day. And for me, I just love the biodiversity in Costa Rica. The abundance of flora and fauna and wildlife is indescribable. I'm no surfer, but I will happily immerse myself in the jungle landscape. We hope to be able to eat less meat and lots more freshly picked fruits and veggies. We are looking forward to purchasing some land where we can build our own house and tend our own gardens. The goal is to also build cabinas or tree houses that we will be able to rent out as short-term vacation rentals too. We have always planned to travel a lot with our kids and to homeschool, so this move will be a better way to serve that goal as well. Simply put, there is a lot about the States and Western culture in general that we would like to opt out of. We feel that we will be able to shed a lot of the negatives we experience and witness here and gain a lot of positives by this move. We are not your normal family, so I know this line of thinking is not for everyone, but for us, we are positive that this is the next step for a well-lived life. So, that just about sums us up, so let's move on to the new stuff. In my last video, I talked about how we were decluttering everything and selling everything in order to get ready for this big move. Our plan is to take only 2 suitcases each, and very, very few things will be stored in a family member's shed. We plan to leave St. Augustine in 3 months, so I'm still in the midst of this. But I will report that our home is now looking quite bare. I feel like we went from minimalist to extreme minimalist, and let me tell you, I love it. Minimalism over the years revealed to me that as you let go of things, you gain more time. And that has been the biggest revelation. And now that I'm peeling it down to an even deeper level, the amount of time afforded us is even more luxurious. It feels odd getting to this level because before, the decluttering purges left us with the things that we actually used and the things that, well, to use the infamous term coined by Marie Kondo, the things that spark joy. But now we're letting go of even those things. It's hard letting go of things you really like, and harder to let go of things you like and actually use. But we are planning for a very free and nomadic lifestyle with just 2 suitcases each, and a lot of traveling ahead for at least the next year or more. If you saw my last video, you know we are booking house sitting gigs. Some of these are only a couple weeks long, and some are a few months. But we will be uprooting and moving to new locations with each new house sitting gig. So we have to be able to travel lightly. There's no intention to ever return to the States, except for, trips to see family. And the cost of a shipping container and paying for everything twice is just absurd. So here we are, unloading even the things we love and the things we use. It's mentally hard at first, but once you've made the decision to let go of something, and once the item is no longer in your space, oh my gosh, it's so freeing. Every item you own is time and money and a mental load. You have to store the item using your own precious square footage, clean the item, manage the item, move the item. There's memories or emotions tied with the item. You just don't realize just how much each little item requires a certain amount of subconscious energy from you, and then physical energy invested in it as you move, rearrange, clean it, search for it, and so on. So here we are with a pretty bare house, and we've got ample time to do the things we love. And we are working on teaching our kids how to clean up after themselves too. So the combination has really opened up our family to make more art, do more woodworking, make random things like clothes, cook really interesting, different, healthy meals, play in an orchestra, play with our kids more, go on bike rides, be in nature more, and enjoy the beach or just go climb some trees. We found that less truly is more. On top of all this, I've had time to begin repainting our entire rental house. So far, I've gotten 2 coats in the living room, which is the majority of the house, and the hallway and the baseboards as well. I've got 4 more small rooms to do and the door trims as well. I've been working on my Spanish as well, and trying to get the girls started, and they're watching YouTube videos and just soaking it up. And Jeremy, he's already pretty fluent. I've also been trying to make sure that I instill habits now that I want to carry on into this future life. For example, when I picture my future self, she wakes up and goes outside at sunrise when the animals are all super loud and twittering and just making all this racket because the sun is rising. If you've ever heard that in the jungle, it's amazing. But I want to be that person that goes out there and does yoga every morning. So that means that my present self also needs to go out and do yoga every morning. That way, I'm sure to carry this ideal habit out in a new environment. I also want to YouTube vlog the adventure, so that's why I'm starting the documentation now, before we even get there. I want to work on the skill set and this habit of taking video footage now, so I'll be sure to live out this idea when I get there. Living from your future self has been a mindset trick of mine for the past decade, and it really does help you achieve your dreams. I write about this extensively on my blog. It's megnordman.com if you're curious about this. Our biggest news since my last video update is that one of our rental properties is under contract. Fingers crossed. It's a little bit premature to talk about this, but if things continue to move along swimmingly, then we will have decluttered our biggest item, a house. This particular rental had the biggest potential for a headache during our next chapter, meaning it's an older home from the 40s, so it had the highest risk for upkeep required, plus all the landscaping. And while the passive income it generates is amazing, we would rather not have to fly back to handle emergencies or just have that stress lingering in the background of our mind while we're trying to go out and live our dream life, you know? The house appreciated a ton in this wild, hot market we're experiencing in the States and particularly in Florida, so it felt like a good time to let go of it. Also, it would give us the capital we need to act swiftly on any opportunities we see in Costa Rica to settle down and start building our Swiss Family Robinson style house, as I like to call it. Okay, so next up is a sneak peek into my kids' minimalist room. I thought people might find that interesting just to see where we're at right now with minimal toys. We are about to declutter it even further down to just a suitcase, but I thought people might find this of interest. And then after that, I show my process of decluttering our office supplies and our filing cabinet down to just one box of important papers that we will store. I know I personally have been seeking this kind of information out on YouTube, just trying to find inspiration and motivation and trying to see what it was like for others who have blazed this trail ahead of us. And there is a little bit of content out there, but there's not much, and there's really not a lot of detailed content. So I know this is a long video, but I'm hoping to give that to the right person who is seeking this kind of information out, that really wants to just kind of see that whole process and see what's being thrown away, what's being kept. So enjoy the rest of the video. Hello. So I thought you might be interested in seeing what I call a minimalist kid's bedroom that is not Pinterest perfect and not full of IKEA organizers, and it's kind of a, I don't know, a little bit junky mess. Still, despite being minimalist, I mean, it's not pretty. But the kids love it. They don't know any different. What I know is that when I had this room aesthetically beautiful, life was way more overwhelming, and we just had so much more stuff and a lot of pretty things that made my heart pitter-patter because they were so pretty and adorable, and all the colors matched, and it was kind of Montessori shabby chic and romantic cottage core. I mean, and but it turns out what my kids like to play with, and everyone's kid is different. Well, both of my kids love more than anything in the world is boxes. We have, let me change the lighting here, boxes galore. So currently these are the only books I have pulled out. All the rest of the books are in a box over here. The ones I want to keep for when we move. And I have an empty basket. And which way does it open? There we go. Empty basket. An empty wine box. An empty box for printer paper. An empty box that was from a laptop. I think this was something from Aldi. An empty box. Empty basket. Empty box. You get the point. Their imaginations are huge. I mean, these baskets and boxes are Barbie houses. They are caves. They're baby cribs. They are dog kennels. They're towers. I mean, it's just unreal. I mean, some of them become like little houses with teeny tiny floor plans, and they make little bitty pieces of furniture for like the miniature toys they have. And it's just wild. And I have seen it over and over again that is their favorite thing. So they have a whole wall now of empty boxes. And so as you can see right now, this one is a dog house. Kind of adorable. She's been tending to these dogs for like 2 weeks now, and she, like, before she goes to sleep at night, she like carries this dog around all day, and then before she goes to sleep, she like puts them in her dog basket, the little dog crate, dog house. So, moving onward, these are their stuffed animals. It's overflowing, but I think it's still less than most kids' stuffed animals. And the thing is, that is what my kids play with. Secondly, from boxes, then the next thing would be stuffed animals. And usually the stuffed animals are in the boxes. So I have decluttered the stuffed animals a gajillion times, constantly reevaluating what are they actually playing with and what is just taking up space. And that box right there really is full of stuffed animals that they play with on a very regular basis. I have this little doll stroller that I got off of eBay. It was an antique. I painted the wheels really cute. And they each have one baby doll. There's one bottle and one sippy cup. That's it. They don't even like to put the clothes on the baby doll. No other thing. Farah is actually in the next room playing with her baby doll and the sippy cup right now. And next, they play with these stick horses all the time. There is no good way to store or organize these things. They just kind of flail no matter what corner I try to stick them in. They have two larger horsies they play with. We have one box of animals now. Horses, dragons, dinosaurs, chickens, frogs, all animals. And I point this out because I used to have, you see how all these empty boxes here? I used to have a basket for horses, and a basket for dinosaurs, and a basket for farm animals, and so forth, right? And it was just me constantly picking things up and organizing them in these boxes and just driving myself nuts. Finally, I went through, because the kids, they just like take the baskets and dump them out and then go use the empty basket to make a doghouse out of it or something. So anyway, I finally just went through all those and just made less horses, less dinosaurs, less frogs. You get it. Until now they all fit in one basket, and it can just be an animal basket. And this is the thing I've learned over the past 5 years, is just keep simplifying and simplifying and bringing it down. I got some magnetiles for Christmas. They love this little puzzle that we got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, where you just like stack flowers. They love that thing. We have a treasure box that is full of junk, but it's all the shiny things. It's not pretty or anything, but like in their mind, that treasure box can become all sorts of things, whether they're playing pirates or princesses or whatever. Then I also recently got rid of their toy kitchen. It was a cute little white kitchen that everyone likes to have. I think it was like craft or something, but anyway, they don't really play with the kitchen. They play with the things that were in the kitchen that I was constantly picking up and storing inside the pretend refrigerator. And the thing just got filthy. It was just a gross thing. Had all kinds of crevices. You couldn't really take things apart, and it just got gross. But they didn't play with it like ever as a kitchen really. But what they do is they take the boxes and turn those into stoves and ovens, and they move that around to wherever in the house they feel like playing, or in the yard or whatever. So now, just a basket of kitchen stuff. It feels like a lot to me. I would like to have a third of that, but they play kitchen with these items a lot, so until we actually make the move, fine, they can keep their toy kitchen stuff, which has been decluttered actually a lot of times, so it is down to like the bigger items. Got rid of any of like the little bitty kitchen pieces. Then I have music stuff. That's a roll-out keyboard, little microphones and tambourines, and that's about it now. I used to have all of the musical equipment. It's the little like flute recorder kind of thing and cabasa type things, all maracas, whatever. Like, just got rid of it. It was one of those things where they'd pick up a shaker and go one time and thunk, throw it, and now it was something for me to pick up. So I really kind of got that down to like, okay, here's the ones they really play with. They like to pretend to sing in the microphone a lot. You can keep that. So, and then we have here, this is the all-around toy box now, which is a new thing for me, because for a while there I was really trying to organize, like, here's a Barbie basket, and here is the My Little Pony basket. Here is the doctor kit. stuff to play doctor and vet with. And again, it's just driving me bonkers. So now most things go in here. This is Barbie clothes. These are the Barbies, My Little Ponies, and all the doctor stuff. And that's really, and maybe some Hot Wheels. And that's it. That's all that really goes in there. But that's the other toys. And then I have the dollhouse, which has seen better days. They've really kind of trashed this thing. But that's good. It's been well loved. They play with it. And it's never adorable inside. Because, let's face it, they are, 3 and 5 now. They've been like little 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds, and they just kind of, furniture goes nuts. But they do love to play with that. Then lastly, I have dress up and accessories. Little headbands and hairbrushes and, things like that. And that's it. That's all of the toys that my kids own. And we are going to get this down to one luggage suitcase, and I think that will be easy to do. And then anything else that they want to keep can go into one box this size for grandmom's house, plus the 2 large animals that they cuddle at night that they love and have begged to keep. And that's it. Pretty good. I mean, I've seen a lot of my friends, and this is not said in a judging way at all. Everyone is different. But I put this out there in case there is someone that hears this, recognizes it in themselves, and wants to change it. But I have a lot of friends that have playrooms. They have big, like 2,000, 5,000 square foot houses. It came with a den. The den is now a designated playroom that is utterly filled with toys as if it were a toy store. And then there will be maybe another playroom. The living room might also have larger toys that have encroached on the living room. And then there will be like a bedroom for every child, and each child is practically a playroom in itself with lots of toys in there. And if that's what you want, that more power to you. That's okay. But for people like me who found motherhood to be extremely overwhelming when I started off on that course with so many toys, and I think my kids really found it overwhelming too. This has been so much simpler and so much better. And it's not beautiful. And actually I've got this table listed for sale right now, so that's about to be gone. And I will say, until just recently, I just sold the bookcase, and I had a bookcase on that empty wall there. And so I had the toys that they played with the most were in the baskets on the bottom, and the ones they played with least were up higher. And I liked that because they would come and ask me if they wanted that. They knew what was in every single basket, and so I would come bring it down, and it was a little bit easier to manage. Like, okay, you're done with that game. We're putting it back in the basket and going back on the bookshelf. But now that is gone, so everything's on the floor basically. And I don't mind the patch on the wall and any crayon on the wall. We're about to sand that down, and we're going to repaint all the walls in the house before we move out, because we love our landlord and we want to leave her a good clean space. But and before I leave this room, I'll show you the closet. So it still kind of looks crazy, but I want you to know that one column here is only empty luggage that I recently acquired for this move. So it used to be junk. I decluttered it all until it was completely empty, and then now have gone and gotten free luggage from the Buy Nothing group. Our neighborhood is amazing. And this is now, if you can see, luggage. And I don't know if you can see, but up in here, that is all luggage. And so that means we're down to basically from here to here is the hanging clothes. I can touch it. And then right here is some like winter jackets that will get stored at grandmom's, because we will only be in cold weather if we are visiting family in the States. And then both of my kids, age 3 and 5, I used to have a huge antique French dresser, and now this is what we have. This is swimwear, and I made these little tape tags so that they can put their own clothes up when we do laundry. And they know which drawer is which. They don't have to think about it. So they know that swimsuits, I don't know if you see my little bikini there, are in here. Sleepwear is in here. Not that they wear pajamas that often. That's only like 2 months out of the year where it gets a little bit cold and they wear pajamas. And then we have panties and socks. I used to have it in that way. It's where only panties were here and socks were here. But then their sizes just recently changed. And like Farah is very clearly in this size and Etta is very clearly in this size. And I can't really mix them anymore. They used to have like the same size booty. But so now they know that Etta's is here, Farah's is here, and the socks are in the back. You don't really wear socks very often either. That's like maybe 2 months out of the year again. And then Etta, this is all of her clothes. Farah, this is all of her clothes, besides just a little bit of dresses hanging. So they're kind of rolled Marie Kondo style, but it also is a little bit messy because they're children and they rustle around in there a little bit. But there's not that much in there. So about like 2 layers. Like ideally it would just be 1 layer so you can see, you open the drawer and you see every single thing in it. But this is where we're at right now. And it's because there are some winter like long sleeve things and pants in there. And those again will all be at grandmom's for visits. And we won't be taking any winter stuff with us to Costa Rica. So that's it. That's where we're at right now. And so I feel like in doing this little tour for you, I feel good about where we are with the decluttering for packing. Like I think we're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be that stressful or bad. And that's cool. That's another benefit of minimalism, the ability to pack and kind of move and be more nomadic. So I just looked out the window as I was talking and noticed my husband set a surfboard out on the side of the road for anybody that wants to use it, or I guess the trash man will pick it up. These are the days we're in. Yeah, so I think I will end this here, and I'll probably have another clip for you about doing the office area. Okay? Look at this mess. This is all trash so far from our filing cabinet. Lots of passwords that I had to shred up. The old notes when we were trying to decide if we could get another property. We were trying to budget that out. Oh, old political stickers. Probably shouldn't dig into that too much because it's a lot of paperwork that should be shredded. But yeah, this is like tax stuff. This was junk that came out of a junk drawer. There's some podcasting things. That's like some kind of music recording stuff for Jeremy. And so far, I think that's the keep pile for filing cabinet stuff. Yeah, so it's got to get worse before it gets better, right? This is our bedroom, and it used to be really pretty and cute. And I had a gorgeous little white desk that was a draft table and a cute little white modern IKEA filing cabinet system for my art and some of our tax stuff. And I just sold them, and so now the things that were sitting on top of those surfaces in a more neat and organized way are now on the floor in piles. And while I'm going through that, I figured, well, I'll just dig into the filing cabinet too and start going through those file folders. And here's like the empty ones of just junk. I mean, I'm going through it and I'm just fascinated. I'm like, why did I think I needed to keep this? And some of it, made sense to keep in the moment. But now, it's like old hospital receipts from 2016 that obviously here we are in 2022 and have no need for this stuff. But it just, once it goes in there, it's like a black hole and you never really kind of shuffle through and declutter that, or at least I didn't, not very often. So just a lot of junk to filter through. And I've got an empty box here where I'm trying to prepare any office stuff that we want to hold on to. So, birth certificates and maybe the past 5 years worth of tax return things, but it's very little stuff that we'll need to hold on to. So that's cool, and it feels really good. I had some paperwork that really put a dark cloud over my day for about an hour or two yesterday. I had a whole big file folder of papers that came from an employer of mine in, 2012 maybe? I've lost kind of count, but anyway, it was my first job out of college, and I had a narcissistic boss, and it almost got physically abusive when he smashed a scotch glass that he had water in on the wall. It almost hit my head, and it smashed. It was really crazy stuff. Anyway, I haven't looked at it for a long time, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? What was that even about? And I opened it up, and I read all these horrible things just ripping me to pieces, and it was hard to throw it away, which is a weird thing. Like, I've held on to it. I filed a police report, actually, because I started to get a little nervous from some of these letters that kept coming in, like 2 months after I quit. I'm still getting messages. So there's just a lot of old trauma or old baggage that was in one file folder in my filing cabinet, which sits in our closet right behind my head where my pillow is. And there was something really strange. Like, I threw it away. It was hard to throw away. Like, I needed this evidence in case something ever happened to me. But now, like, it's so long ago. It's a decade ago. Nothing's ever happened. It all just kind of dissipated and went away. But, like, I found that strange that I felt this need to, like, still cling to it. And then I rationalized that I do not need this. I throw it away. And about 2 hours later, then the relief came. And that realization that this little ball of negativity was literally physically right behind my head every night when I went to sleep. And even if I'm not conscious of it, I'm not thinking about any of this stuff in the filing cabinet. But, it's all hospital bills, for, like, traumatic injuries. My husband, like, snapped his ankle in 3 places and had to get a bunch of screws and, and plates in his foot, and things were difficult, and there was, childbirth and taxes and, like, all these things that are just like, like the crappy part of human experience, the crappy part of, like, all that stuff is in this drawer 3 inches from my head, and throwing it away is such a relief. Like, and I've just not even been aware of it. It's so subconscious. It's so far back there that we don't even realize that this kind of clutter is also adding to this emotional load that sits on us. The same way as if you have, a bunch of tchotchkes from a loved one who passed away. And even if that memory of that person sparks joy and you decide to keep that because it sparks joy, but then there's also, like, a sadness that is attached to it, and you just don't realize how much of these little tiny subconscious messages are surrounding you all over your house. And I'm becoming really aware of it right now. Like, as I'm getting rid of, like, everything, and the amount of freedom and relief is, it's huge. It's really, really huge. So anyway, just a little note for anyone decluttering and watching this and thinking about attacking a filing cabinet. And it's a pretty necessary thing that I don't feel like I hear about in many, minimalist audiobooks and books and podcasts and stuff. But it's been an interesting thing to see the weight go away and kind of psychoanalyze myself and kind of understand why I kept things, or why it's hard to even throw away some of these papers, and the excuses that I can come up with to hold on to things. And then the feeling that comes when I ultimately decide that, hey, I don't need this. And also just weird, like, why is this still taking up space in my life? This was so long ago. I do feel the burn still. It's never gonna happen. But yeah, look at that, huge. We don't even have a large filing cabinet. That's a lot of trash. So anyway, I'm going to continue digging through the junk. All right, filing cabinet trash. Might take a couple of loads. This all out. It's a lot.
Are you recording?
Yep.
Uh-oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've made a lot of headway here. You can see the floor again and my bed again. So you can see, you know, as I said earlier, we got rid of the desk and the cabinet, which was a total of $115 off of Marketplace. We haven't had a bed frame for a while now. It's just a mattress on the floor. So the only thing left is the dresser, which is listed on Marketplace right now. That is mine and Jeremy's clothes combined. He has 2 drawers and I have 3. And just to give you a look here, that's my underwear drawer. Pretty organized, Marie Kondo style, rolling everything. And that's my t-shirts. And that is all my pants and shorts and pajama pants and yoga pants. Jeremy has all his pants and shirts in here. That's literally all his clothes. And it's pretty crazy, huh? And then this is socks and underwear, which is kind of ridiculous because, I mean, he doesn't need that many socks and underwear. He could declutter a little more. So yeah, that's it for our clothes, and that'll get decluttered a little bit. Not the panty drawer because there's not a lot of washers or dryers in most of the Costa Rican rentals that we've seen. So I would like to be able to like make jeans go as long as I can before they need to be washed and stuff like that. And then eventually when I run out of panties, then maybe if a washboard situation is not working, then I'll go to a laundromat. So those will not get decluttered. But whenever we do start packing, I'll be more ruthless with what else comes regarding t-shirts and shorts, and plus anything long sleeve or like long pants that will stay in Alabama for visits to family during the wintertime. Not that it gets that cold, but it's cold enough for some jeans. So yeah, it looks messy probably. Let me see if I can adjust the light here. But it's really actually organized. So here's the situation right now. Jeremy has to go through this pile. I believe 1/3 of this is trash, but because I wasn't completely sure, I left it in there for him to go through. But I think 2/3 of that is actually keep. And I mean, how cool is it that like we only need that much stuff? We don't need filing cabinets and drawers and desks and offices, you know. I mean, it's just ridiculous, especially considering that most stuff is on zip drives and external hard drives. So I think all office things will be able to fit in here, including the hard drives and stuff. And then this is just stuff we will be using in the near future. It's like podcast equipment. And we've got like 2 laptops now, but then like 2 really old ones that we might want to keep because stuff on it. And then this is just tax stuff, which will get handled in the next month and then end up in a file folder. And that's it. You know, pretty cool. That's where we're at. On to the next task. Okay, so office stuff is pretty much done. This is it. This is the box. Out of basically originally an office worth of stuff that we moved here with and decluttering it over the years, and then getting down to just a filing cabinet and a little dresser and a desk. Now this is the entirety of all of our office and filing cabinet stuff. So I got like my address book, my stamps in here, a little bit of stationery that I decided to keep. I used to have a ton. That's blank notebook. And let's see, some like 401k stuff, closing documents. I don't even know what all this is. A lot of this stuff for the car. And yeah, so taxes, I think that's the majority of this is just like old tax stuff, you know. So, and this is something we'll be throwing out once we move. So not much, and there's plenty of room here to put the little hard drives, external hard drives with some stuff stored on it, and little flash drives that have other things stored on it, but that's it. So why do we have, you know, entire rooms designated to an office? Maybe for privacy, but like that much stuff, you know. So let's wrap this up. This is already a super long video. Apologize for that. I know we're also used to stories and reels and shorts and these like 1 minute long videos, but sometimes, you know, if you need some proper motivation or inspiration to tackle these projects, I know I prefer a more in-depth video. So I hope I was able to provide that for somebody. I'm gonna sign off here in a minute. So of course, like, subscribe, hit the little ring button so you get notifications, all that kind of jazz you're used to hearing. And hey, I am also all for digital decluttering, and I like to have less notifications. So I'm very choosy about what I do subscribe to and what I decide to have a notification for. So let me give you a little pitch here, just so you can decide whether you want to be notified of our future videos. So here's my plan. I plan to get much better at this and get better equipment. I'm excited because I'm shopping for a drone now so I can get cool aerial footage when we get to Costa Rica. And I want to make things a little more like cinematography, you know, lots of cool B-roll. And I'll probably have like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 videos left over the next 3 months preparing for this move. If there's any other big updates or big moments, like the moment of actually having an empty house and driving out, you know, that kind of stuff. I want to do a really good job at chronicling our adventures through Costa Rica. So when we first get there, we're gonna have all these house sitting gigs, and we'll be living in these awesome houses for free and getting to sample different areas of the country. And I want to be able to show you that. And then eventually we're going to be able to pick a spot that we want to land. We think we know where we want to land right now, but that might change after we try a couple of these new areas. So once we buy some land, my husband, his main passion in life right now outside of surfing is just wanting to build our actual house that we live in with his own bare hands. And he just wants to build everything. He just wants to spend the rest of his life building things. And I think that's awesome. And I want it to be very Swiss Family Robinson style. I want it very rustic. I want the handles to be like an actual piece of tree or vine or something. You know, I want a thatched roof. Man, I want a pulley system with a basket. I want like the water well pump. I want those things. So if any of that kind of stuff, you know, permaculture, eco-lodging, that kind of living off the grid, and, you know, jungle meg, I've got all my little bohemian skirts ready. I can't wait to go explore the jungle with my kids and, you know, just kind of log off a little bit more. You know, I'll still obviously be logging in. I'm going to have my phone and I'm going to have my video camera and I'm going to edit and put this stuff out there so you guys can follow along. But I think we will be able to opt out of like the busyness and the noise, you know, that comes at us through this technological digital age. So anyway, if that's of interest to you and you want to see what happens on our journey, then subscribe and get notifications. Otherwise, for the next 3 months, it's going to probably be my normal, whimsical, pretty home videos of us enjoying the beach here in our last few months. So anyway, if you made it this far, props to you and your attention span. And yeah, let's stay connected.